Good afternoon, students. Right now what I wanted to do is make just a quick instructional video. This will be a resource for you if for some reason you're not able to get into the Zoom, or the Zoom isn't working very well, or you want to go back after maybe sitting through the Zoom class to review some of the material. For the rest of distance learning, I'm going to be putting a video like this at the beginning of each of the Google Slides so that you can review. Again, if you miss something, it's there to kind of review to make sure that you get all the needed information to get assignments submitted and understanding for those assignments. Okay, so what I want to walk you through today is an assignment titled Life Skills Listening for Understanding. And listening for understanding, I'm going to type that in because it should say that right here. Listening for understanding is a kind of social health piece for us. And what that social health piece is developing probably our essential communication skill, which is the ability to listen. And that ability to listen is something we're going to work on all year, but we want to kind of get introduced to it, at least in this lesson. So as we work on it, we know some of those things we want to be working on. One other thing with the listening skill we're going to be working on this week is taking Cornell notes. In Cornell notes, you may have done some model of them in middle school. But it's a note-taking format that first emerged in Cornell University, specifically their School of Education, and has now become somewhat famous around the United States as a really effective note-taking strategy. And the first few slides kind of walk through what Cornell notes are, how they work, what's supposed to go where. This sheet is posted for you in the Google Classroom and Canvas link. I'm going to take you to an example of it, and it's set up to help you take Cornell notes. The hard notes are over here. They're written down for you. You're going to be recording information in the soft notes section over here. All right. So if we go back to the slides, and I'm also putting this here too if you want to do your own piece of binder paper while we do go through the Zoom class. You can write stuff down, jot it by hand, and then type it in when you get time later, but not necessary, but I would say it's an effective way to do it if you do like to be able to jot things down as you hear them. And just some information about Cornell. Cornell is not only an Ivy League school, one of the best universities in the United States, but it's also got one of the better wrestling teams, wrestling programs, and most specifically Kyle Dake. He's graduated a few years ago, but he's the only kind of Division I wrestler to win 4 titles in 4 different weight classes in his 4 years at Cornell. And he was slated to be on the 2021 Olympic team, or 2020 Olympic team, but we're hoping he has a shot at getting some gold in 2021. Also kind of connected to the Cornell, Andy Bernard from The Office, real funny clip of his Cornell interview. Okay, so definitions are here, and even more so than the definition, kind of some instruction on what listening is, the RASA method, which will come up a few minutes into the video, and we'll watch that in class. If you want to watch it on your own, you will record kind of the RASA, and I'll show you this page of notes, the RASA idea over on that side in the soft notes section. Okay, then it's going to get into a variety of stories from a organization called StoryCorps, and StoryCorps is an NPR subsidiary or a company, kind of within a nonprofit organization that's part of NPR, National Public Radio. And what they do is they make studios available. They have kind of traveling resources to go to different communities around the United States. They're based in San Francisco, so I think they have an office there you can kind of work with. But their whole mission is to record stories from Americans. And those stories are often conducted in kind of an interview format, where one family member, friend, or acquaintance interviews another, and that interview is recorded as part of kind of a story collection service that StoryCorps does, and saves it for posterity and kind of learning down the road. You're going to be listening to a variety of stories from StoryCorps, about a few different individuals, and what you're going to be looking for is not only getting kind of an idea of who they are from the story, but also an important message that kind of maybe made StoryCorps choose to make their story available to a mass audience. And Ronald D. McNair is one of them. Star Trek comes up in it, and a real famous episode of Star Trek, I think, is probably linked to the discussion on Star Trek that comes up in the story. We'll watch that video if we have a chance. Patrick Haggerty, real famous and kind of now especially famous country music singer. There's his father, and his fame is kind of rekindled in recent years, and he's there with another very famous kind of current country music star, Orville Peck. Wendell Scott, NASCAR Hall of Famer, and but NASCAR was the easy part of his life, or racing cars was the easy part of his life. A lot of other difficulties he was able to kind of wrestle with and struggle through and persevere. And there's Wendell Scott with his son, who became a middle school principal. And Panchita Espetia, and just kind of a neat story about her as well. So, all right, you'll summarize your notes. This is one piece too that I want to make sure I show you really quick. You're going to be doing 2 interviews, one with a parent, family member, guardian, relative, maybe a family friend who's kind of in that kind of family member category, but interview them about their high school experience or secondary school experience if they didn't go to school in the United States, whatever level of school they went to in their home country, secondary school. You can interview them about that experience, and that's here for you. This is under life skills number 4, and questions are set up. You can just type in the answers right there. I also want you to set up an interview with one of your teachers. So you've got 6 of them, maybe some have 7, but 6 of them, and you can interview them and fill in the same information here. So 2 interviews, and I'm asking everybody to have those interviews done by next Wednesday. All right. Okay. So that's this week's lesson, life skills number 3 and 4, listening for understanding. And the goal is to have those notes, life skills number 3, turned in on Thursday for periods 1 and 5, and on Friday for period 2. The interviews you're going to be turning in next week on Wednesday. That'll be that piece of that Wednesday kind of participation mark. So if you have any questions, be sure to email me. I'd say take some time to kind of look at this on your own, even if you weren't in class, just because that will help definitely with the review and understanding process. Okay, hopefully everybody has a good week. Looks like the weather's changing a little bit. The thunderstorms might be starting soon. So again, have a good week, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow or Tuesday. Thank you.